Hey, let's talk about it, cause honestly we need to talk about social issues, just uplifting my people. Yeah, let's talk about it. Come join the conversation. A connection's what we're creating. Yeah.
What's happening? Good morning. How y'all doing? So today I wasn't even gonna do a video this morning, right? But I was thinking of something while I was in the gym, and I was just thinking about how there are people out there that are jealous of you simply because you don't look like what you've been through or what you're going through. And I think about that because in the Bible, like I said, I'm not a Bible scholar, but in the Bible, Paul was in prison. His body was in prison. But the book of Paul is wrote while he is in prison, right? So his body was in prison, not his mind. So he was still, functioning as if he wasn't in prison. And that's how a lot of us are today. You see, I use myself as an example. There was a point in time, and I think I've talked about this before, that my position, not even my position, the whole pretty much company, they did a reshuffling or whatever, and we was all without jobs. And during that time that we was all without jobs, my grandfather was sick, my grandmother was dependent on me, and I said nothing. I never said nothing. So the same people were calling on me, asking, just for advice or this, that, and the other, right? And I had my own stuff going on, right? But I was presenting myself as everything was all right. Even though there was a point in time that I was really, really concerned. But every time I would get into my feelings and I would get emotional about the stuff, I would just be thinking like, you know what? God has never failed me. Now, the song says God has never failed me yet, but God has never failed me, right? So I was getting up in the morning, doing all my normal functions, right? And I was just like, you know what? God is going to work it out. God is going to work it out. And see, that's the thing, right? You can have faith the size of a mustard seed, but the people around you might not have that same level of faith. So if you're panicking, imagine what they're doing. They're really panicking, right? So I sat in it and I was just like, man, it just seemed like, a couple of months went by and I was just like, Lord, you know what I'm saying? I obviously you trying to teach me something. And what I'm thinking is what you're teaching me is just hold on, because there's a bigger blessing coming. And I will say that I have been blessed beyond measures. I have been blessed more so than I think that I deserve. And that's crazy because God don't make no mistakes, right? But I say all of this to say that there is people out there that are looking at you smiling, looking at you still, hey, how you doing? You know what I'm saying? Still, being kind to others, right? But they know your situation, right? They know that you're on the verge of getting kicked out. They know that you down to your last. They know that you have asked others, for money, this, that, and the other, right? But they get upset because you don't present your current circumstance. Think about that. You don't present your current circumstance, and they are upset with you because they're calling you fake. Yeah, look at them. They fake this, that, and other. All the while, they don't know that when you go home, they don't know that you praying. They don't know that you trusting in God. So you show up and you make things look easy. And that's just based upon your faith. And a lot of people, they get it wrong because if you stay around the wrong people for a long time, they will bleed into you. That's why all of those old sayings, birds of a feather fly together, this, that, and other, there's merit to all of that. There's merit to all of that because if you hang around or you associate with people who don't believe like you believe, it's either you're going to pull them your direction or they're going to pull you their direction. And a lot of people say, no, I can be able to hang this, that, and other. No, because you don't notice because you have started becoming like them. And that's why I love Paul. You know what I'm saying? Because he was a fighter. He was about to get down, you know what I'm saying? And for Jesus, he was about to get down and all of that type of stuff. And like I said, I know a lot of people out there aren't Bible scholars. I'm not a Bible scholar, but you know what I'm saying? You can look these stories up. He was a rider, a true definition of a rider, right? He was about to, you know what I'm saying? But God took him and he transitioned him. And all of that energy that he had, he turned it and he focused it in another direction. That's why you have to be very cautious on who you speak on. Because God don't play. He don't play about certain people. And I would hope and pray that I'm one of those people. You know what I'm saying? Like that God don't play about. But even saying all of those little sayings and this, that, and the other, right? You got to be doing the work. You have to be. I can sit up here and tell y'all all of the crazy stuff that I have went through since the loss of both of my grandparents. Crazy. And I remember having a conversation with my grandma one day, right? And I told her, I said, you know, Mom, when that day come, it's going to be some mess. And we laughed about it. And I told her, I said, no, I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious. You know what I mean? Like I'm dead serious. And I told her, and we had all of these discussions, right? And before she was even in the ground, the mess came, right? And I lost it. For a short period of time, I lost it. And I went to social media. I did the very thing that I can't stand. I went to social media and I just aired out because I was hurt. And let me tell you something. There is no hurt like church hurt and family hurt. There's church hurt and family hurt. See, friends, they can do you a certain way, but you can be like, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. I felt that coming, this, that, and other. But family and church hurt, that's a different type of hurt. So I was hurt. And I started, you know what I'm saying, doing things that just didn't sit right in my spirit. You know what I'm saying? Like it just didn't fit right in my spirit. And I had to take a long look at myself in the mirror and just really be like, yo, what are you doing? How is that benefiting the person that you want to be? And that's what you have to do. You got to look in the mirror and really judge yourself and say, you know what? For where I'm going, am I doing what I'm supposed to do? See, my thought process is, and I say this a lot, the change that you want to see in the world, right? We look at all of the stuff that's happening in California. We look at Trump. We look at all of this stuff, right? Because people want to identify something to be able to complain about. You have no say-so on what's going on up there. You have no say-so what's going on in California, right? But you want something to focus on so that can be the reason that you're not doing X, Y, and Z. Trump talking about cutting, you know what I'm saying, the Section 8 and this, that, and the other, right? So you focus on that. I can't believe he doing that, this, that. Oh, I can't believe it. But some people have been on it for whatever long time, right? Right? And you could be taking this time to get yourself together. But it's easier. It's easier to identify something, and that becomes this is why. In your family life, right? Well, I'm this way because of my mother. I'm this way because of my father. And you hold on to that. Now you 20 plus and you still blaming them. You still blaming them. But I'm a firm believer that you will become the very thing that you hate. You will become the very thing that you hate. And if you have kids, right, the same thing that you hated about what you went through, it will bleed over. Trust me. It will bleed over unto them. And a lot of times you don't really understand it because you looking at them and you want them to be this, right? They have to be this. They got to be this because I didn't have a chance to be this. So this is what you're going to be. And then they can't stand you because they like, you're not even listening to me. Oh, but guess what? Go back some years and that's the same thing you were saying about your parents. They don't even listen to me. They don't even this, that, and the other. When in relationships, right? And this is a big thing, right? And this is why a lot of relationships die. You can't try to make someone, right, fit this. Like, let's say this, right? Say you're in a relationship and everything comes before that relationship. Work, how you feel, how you this, that, and the other, right? And if you do something so long, the other party adjusts to it, right? So let's just say, you frustrated about work and this, that, and the other, right? So the intimacy dies, right? Right? So because the intimacy dies, the other person might have been trying the whole time, but you shutting everything down, right? So now they have just come accustomed to it. So guess what you do? Man, you don't even hug me no more, man. You don't even this, that, and the other, right? And then you're like, yeah, but for months, you turned me down or made me feel less than, and then got mad at me when I didn't adjust to you. So now I have adjusted to you. Now I'm the problem because people need a picture. They need something to focus on as the reason why. And you will start blaming the other person and just say the most craziest stuff, right? Because you need someone to, this is one thing. You ever been in a situation where somebody said, like, maybe, you need counseling, right? And then you like, but you the one, like you know what I'm saying? But it's just like, it's people projecting. People will project how they feel upon you. And if you are not careful, that projection will become who you think you are. That projection becomes, okay, well, I guess I am this. Okay, well, I guess I'm not that strong. Okay, well, I guess I'm not that strong. So anyways, man, this has been a long one, man. I hope somebody got something out of this because I just, it was just on my heart. It was just on my heart. There's people out there that don't like you because you don't look like what you're going through, went through. They just like, why are you happy? There's some people out there that can't stand me, right? And they say, man, he always posting on, social media, right? And them same people, they like, I ain't paying no attention to him. But them same people be on social media all day, liking everybody else who they have no connection to. Because they have no connection to them, they're not familiar. And then guess what happened? Years down the line, when that person has a public mistake, then they jump on that bandwagon. Oh my gosh, look at them. So if you are in that position and you're trying to get to where you're going, sometimes you have to understand that there's just going to be people that don't like you simply because you don't look like what you're going through.
Hey, let's talk about it, cause honestly we need to talk about social issues, just uplifting my people. Yeah, let's talk about it. Come join the conversation. A connection's what we're creating. Yeah.